Yo, yo. All right, so we're going to go over this exercise here, and it's really going to help you make connections between different things that you see every day, things that you observe or come across every day, right? So we'll get right into it. So first you're going to pick two words, and they can't be related to each other. And then you're going to find a way to go from the first word to the second word. So basically you're finding an association between the two words, right? But you have to go from the first word to the second word. You can't do it vice versa. Can't go from the second word to the first word, or else it's just gonna ruin the flow of your thinking, right? Like you have to know the destination of where you're going before when you're starting off from somewhere. You can't go from the destination to the start point, right? So we'll go over a few examples, and this will help you see it better. So meteorology. So if my two words are meteorology and line, what can I think of? So when I hear the word meteorology, what comes to my mind? I think of weather. I think of rain. I think of clouds. I think of lightning. When I think of lightning, I think of thunder. And when I think of thunder, I think of, this loud roar, right? This loud, deep roar, kind of how a lion roars, right? When a lion lets out a roar. So right there, that's an association, right? So go from meteorology to thunder to a loud roar, and I can connect that loud roar to a lion, right? So you're finding a way to go from thinking about meteorology to thinking about lines. So how can I switch the topic from meteorology to lines? Move on to the next one. So miners and canoes. So miners, what do I think of when I hear miners? I think of shovels. Workers digging into the ground using a shovel. I think we can all picture that motion of, them, taking that shovel and raising it above their shoulders and really, digging into the ground using both their arms. So, how can I incorporate that, or how can I associate that into canoes? Well, when you're riding a canoe, you're using an oar, kind of in the same motion as a miner digging into the soil, right? You're using oar to dig into the water. You're raising it above your shoulders and crossing your shoulders and using both arms to really dig into the water. So there's an association there. So miners dig into the soil, kind of how when you're on a canoe, you're digging into the water, right? Tigers and tattoos. Those are my next two words. So tiger. Like I said before, you kind of have to know the second word. You have to know the destination, right? Before you can't go from the destination to the start point. You got to go from the start point to the destination. So tigers, how can I switch the topic from tigers to tattoos? What associations can I make? So when I think of tigers, I think of stripes right off the bat, right? Stripes that are on their skin, right? They're imprinted on their skin, different patterns, different stripes, kind of how tattoos are on our skins, like human being skins. It's imprinted on our skins, different patterns. So there's an association there. So stripes on tigers are like tattoos on our skins, right? My next two words are pigs and construction. Pigs, they get really dirty, kind of how you get dirty when working in construction. Next one, trains and volcanoes. Trains, especially older ones, have steam whistles. They let off steam when they're operating. Kind of how volcanoes release steam when they're about to erupt, right? So one thing that really helps me think of these things is think of verbs and actions associated with the words, right? There's a lot of different characteristics that you can think of, but I think that actions and verbs, very specific actions, are the easiest to transition into the second topic. Just because, when we're out and we're observing different things, we're paying attention to things in motion. We're paying attention to what things do above other things. So like we pay attention to how things look, their color, their shape, their size. But I think that primarily we're looking at animate objects, things that are moving, because that's what really grabs your attention. So it's really easy to associate different actions between two words. But they have to be specific. That's the thing. They have to be specific to both of the words. They can't be so general, like, a zebra can walk, just like how humans can walk, right? So that's too general. They have to be very specific to each word. So, for example, my next words here, carousel and tornadoes. So carousels, I mean, this one's kind of easy, more of an easy one. So carousels, they spin around really fast, or they just spin around, kind of like tornadoes, how they spin around. My next one, lights and jewelry. So when I think of lights, I think of Christmas lights. And we're on the part of the world where I'm from. We hang up Christmas lights during Christmas season on our roofs outside of our house. So they hang off our roofs, kind of how jewelry hangs off, our neck or wrist or our ears, right? My next one here, cards and bats. So when I think of cards, I think of deck of cards or a hand of cards. And when you're holding that hand of cards, you're kind of flipping it open or fanning it open. And when you fan it open, it kind of reminds me of a bat extending its wings out, getting ready to fly, right? So these are just some examples that I put together for you guys. And again, it'll get easier with practice. Just make sure you practice this exercise every day for at least 5 minutes, and I guarantee you will get better. Because I wasn't like this in the beginning. I couldn't make very quick associations, but once I started doing this for 5 minutes every day for about a month, man, it's helped me tenfold. I can go out in the street and make connections with so many different things very randomly, and that's like the key and the fundamentals to developing your wit.